Along the line, I would, yeah, yeah. Now, I would like to say that what is Indian English? The Indian English and the English originally in London, they differ only in pronunciations, but writing is the same. So the volume of English speakers in India, while they speak English or write even English, certain Indianness enter to their own style of speaking and writing. And as we know, basically our regional languages are different all over India. But here, while speaking in English, we try our best to follow the pattern of Britain. And as you know, the American English and the British English, they do vary so far as pronunciation is concerned. Likewise, the Canadian English, the Indian English, Australian English, the New Zealandian English, etc., they vary to major extent so far as pronunciation is concerned. But here, when we go or discuss the Indian English novel, we refer to the literary style of the Indian novelists or authors when they write novels or stories but not speak. So the Indian English novel, as we know, what is its objective first? This unit will deal with you the Indian English novel. It will introduce to you the various phases of the development of the Indian English novel. To give you an overview of the development of the Indian English novel, we will also give you a brief idea of the life and works of the major contributors to the development of this genre. By the end of the unity, we will have a fair understanding of the phases in the development of the Indian English novel. So, what is our objective? Our objective is to go through the Indian way of writing by our great writers during before or after India's independence. As far as the introduction is concerned, when we think of the early Indian English novel, we think of the Trinity. The big trio is otherwise called the Trinity. Who are they? Mulkaraj Anand from 1905 to 2004, R.K. Narayana from 1906 to 2001, and Raja Rao 1980 to 2006. All three began writing in the 19th century, and all three saw the turn of the century. Their influence or their importance in the world of the Indian English novel cannot be denied. With Anand's Untouchable, Narayan Swami and friends, and Raja Rao Kanthapura, the Indian English novel found its place in the gamut of Indian literatures. Especially English education was introduced in India in the early 19th century, as we know. It is reasonable to expect that essays, articles, and sketches in English would have begun to flow from Indian pens soon after, especially with the establishment of English journals and newspapers. With the English presence in India from even earlier time, it should be expected that some Indians wrote in English even earlier than that. So, my dear students, the first Indian English novel, as a matter of fact, the famous Bengali novelist Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay from 1838 to 94. Again, you must keep in mind Bengali novelist Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, who was born in 1838 and passed away in 1894, wrote his first novel in English, that was Rajmohan's Wife. Rajmohan's Wife, which was serialized as a wife in the Kolkata Weekly, the Indian Field, in the year 1864. This was published in book form only in the 1930s and republished in 1990. Bankim Chandra was influenced by the English novelists that he had read, particularly Sir Walter Scott, Charles Dickens, etc. Rajmohan's Wife, like his Bengali novels, deals with the social issues of the day. In the sense, the main agenda of the Indian English novel was set in this first attempt itself. Rajmohan's Wife is no more or less about the effects of a bad marriage on a woman. Again, Rajmohan's Wife deals with the effect of a bad marriage on a woman. The sufferings of a middle class housewife, Matagini, at the hands of her husband, Rajmohan, in rural East Bengal, forms the subject of the novel. This was the time of a social reform, and it should not surprise us that the first Indian English novel is not a historical romance, as has been suggested by sometimes, but a social novel. So Bankim may not have written another novel, English novel, but his Bengali novels were to influence the course of the novel in India. So let us not forget Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. His first novel, Rajmohan's Wife, the theme being the social issue regarding the marriage of a woman. So this must be kept in your mind. Who is the first novelist in India? Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. What is his first composition? I mean the novel, Rajmohan's Wife. What is the theme of his subject? The theme of his subject centers around the bad marriage on a woman. Then we go to three significant novelists. As we have been told, they are big trio. Big trio, T-R-I-O. It means they are the biggest harbingers or writers of India writing in English before India's freedom. The most significant in the history of Indian English fiction during the 1930s was the appearance of the big trio, Mulkarajanan, R.K. Narayan, and Raja Rao. But three of them deal the social problems from different angles. I mean to say, the writings of R.K. Narayan centers around the socio-domestic problem, but with the artistic touch, artistic finish. Raju Bangaya, the gentleman, or you may say how his novel became a film later on in the United States of America, and then he got popularity overnight. So his novels, Malgudi, etc., the different Swami's Penance and others are there, but his writing style is basically socio-economic, and the trend is artistical trend. In case of Raja Rao, his Serpent, the novel written by the Serpent, this is purely philosophical religious expression of Indian problems. So when one is not mentioning the philosophical religious implications in the novel, the other one is putting it in his own writing, Raja Rao. Raja Rao means to say, water comes from heaven in the form of a cloud. It reaches the seashore, river, canals, pools, tanks. People collect water and keep it in the store, I mean, in the pottery at home. Again, they drink the water, and water is vaporized as sweats, goes to into the sky, and they form cloud. So the cyclic process of a cloud or water is nothing but the cyclic process of a human life. Who said? Raja Rao said. But in the case of a Mulka Raja Anand, there is an outburst of a communistic trend. He means to say, for example, I would give an example. When the barbers, we call barik, when they are tortured by the feudal of the Samanta at their own homes, they underestimate, they hate the people like barber who are rendering the service by coming over to the homes or houses of the feudalistic people or the Sant. So they go to roadside and make their cabins. They do not go to serve the people at home door to door. As a result of which, the big ones, the samants, the feudal heads, they are bound to go to saloon for their haircut. Otherwise, they look like beggars or dacoits. So it means those people who are oppressed, suppressed, those who are made downtrodden, they are made suffered, they are the lowest types of people in the society. They are equally human beings. They have everything equal with us. But because they belong to the poorer society and because they belong to, as by virtue of their profession, the servicing tribe, that is why they are looked down upon, they are hated by the upper class, we may say Brahmins, Kshatriyas, they hate. So this means three big trio, Anand, Mulka Raja Anand, R.K. Narayan and Raja Rao, three of them, they are adequately sufficient for giving the social problems of India as a silent revolution through English literature. As we go back to Untouchables, published in the year 1935, we see the same thing. How one man is claiming that he is superior to another man and he is not able to touch even the shadow of a man. So Anand's writing say two leaves and a bird, the sword and the sickle, across the black waters, life of an Indian prince, all such, they are the reflections of Indian socio-English literature. In his novel, Raja Rao, he writes Kanthapura, the serpent and the rope, the Indian national movement, the cat and Shakespeare, the comrade killer, the chess master and his movies. So Raja Rao, everywhere, his problems are basically India's problems, but he writes philosophically and religiously. So now I do think we are clear about three novelists before independence of India, that is R.K. Narayan, Raja Rao and Mulka Raja Anand. And R.K. Narayan waiting for the Mahatma, the man-eater from Malgudi, the painter of science, a tiger for Malgudi, talkative man, the world of Nagaraj. They are the famous writings, but there is artistic touch. So the next unity that we will go, first independence novelist. Bhavani Bhattacharya, for example, is a first post-independent novelist. After independence, what is the message of Bhattacharya or others after India? Mr. Bhattacharya, he says that he has his novel, name of his novel is He Who Rides a Tiger. In He Who Rides a Tiger, he belongs to a blacksmith family. Because his daughter gets the topmost, becomes the best one, and is about to receive the medal from the big man of the society on the stage, the people pelt stones because she hails from a blacksmith, or you may say a kumbhar parivar. So she has got no right to be awarded. So father and daughter, they return home, bowing down their heads and tears in the eyes. Chandralekha, that the name of his daughter, Chandralekha. Both of them leave for Calcutta, and his father wants to take revenge, becomes a duplicate Brahman, and attacks attracts the attention of all the Brahmins and the devotees or bhaktas to his temple. By and by, his name goes far and wide. He becomes famous. One day, his daughter said to his father, Baba, it is not okay because we are not Brahman. Let us stop it. His father says, he who rides a tiger, I have already come a long way in taking revenge from others in the society. If now I confess, they will come killing me. But the daughter said, we may be killed, but we should speak the truth. We have to get down from the tiger. So the moment comes, Mr. Kalu, the name of the hero is in the novel Kalu, K-L-O. Kalu declares that he is not a Brahmin. To take revenge upon the higher caste of the society, he has become a pseudo, an artificial Brahmin. So the real Brahmins, they attack him. But the rickshaw pullers who were there, they say, Hari Baba, he belongs to our society. I mean the poorer society. Let us attack the big class. So as a result, there took place a fighting, and all the bigs, they left the place. It means a revolution has to be started from the grassroots against those who are in the upper layer of the society, oppressing down, making downtrodden all the people, their freedom, their right, their everything. Kalu has got no fault. Simply fault is his daughter stands out best one, and minister has come to reward him on the stage, reward her on the stage. Desai, they are the, after independence, Rohin Mistre, Chand Chaudhary, etc. In those writers or novelists who wrote after India's freedom, they continuously went on writing without any hindrance and stops, because they want a classless society. They want that the poor are poor because not of them, because we have made them poor. So they like to be the champions, the leaders, or the voices of the poor society, the downtrodden society, the oppressed, the suppressed. That is why the Indian, post-Indian English novelists, they are sharper according to the time, place, and person. Because after independence, Britishers parted with us, but the casteism continued, the oppression, the exploitation continued. That is the reason why the post-independent Indian writers in English, they like to write novel to give the message that no, we are all the same. We are all the children of vanguard, and there should be communistic tendency. There should be communistic tendency, and each and every one of us needs to participate in the greater India, that is the Udara Charitatrantu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, world family. So on this, the post-independent and nobilists try and hammer hard in their own writings. Then we come back to women and novelists. Yes, so far as women and novelists are concerned, we know Shashi Deshpande, Nayanatara Seghal, Anita Desai, Rath Pawar Jawahal, Kamala Markandeya, and Arundhati Rai. And as far as Kamala Markandeya is concerned, you see, though she marries the foreign husband, but she is pinpointing in all of her writing a handful of rice, possession, everywhere. She also likes human freedom, the freedom of a woman, and the freedom of the empowerment of women, and the against the dominance of male hegemony. Because males, they claim they are superior to females. They claim they are human beings. They can do and undo whatever they like. But Kamala Markandeya goes against it. She says the relation is 50-50. वादा 50-50 होने चाहिए. The male and female both are integral part of a society, and both need to have their own interaction in a better moment, so that a healthy society can stand up. If males, they go to put their supremacy over the females, then the females, honestly, the females, they will feel neglected. They will be reduced to mere object. They will be pumped away from their own lifestyle. They will not be given their own freedom. So, your Kamala Das and even Arundhati Rai, they are the champions of women empowerment on one hand, and on the other, they have a cry for equality to go hand in hand with their male counterparts every time. So Rath Pawar Jawahal or the Nayanatara Sehgal, everybody, Anita Desai, everybody, they are in the support of women in India. Long India's religious scriptures are very good. We say, Nari Narayani, Indira Lokamata Ma Khirabdhi Tonaya Rama, our Bhagavad Gita, our Ramayana, and everywhere, everything. It is said that they are the Jogmayas, so Bhagini, Jaya, but in practical field, we torture them either mentally or physically, and we do not claim their equality with us. We do not allow their equality with us. So Mukh mein hari, bagal mein churi. So this has become the slogan of almost all the human beings and the male.
ଟିକେ ଇଣ୍ଟରଫିୟର କରୁଛୁ ଯେ ଏ ଯୋଉ ପିଲାଙ୍କର ବୋଧେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଏ ଚାର୍ଟ ରେ ଆସୁଛି ଯେ BGC 102 ଯୋଉ କ୍ଲାସ୍ BGC 102 କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଟା ୟୁରୋପିଆନ୍ କ୍ଲାସିକାଲ ଲିଟରେଚର ଏହା ତ
No.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Sorry to interrupt you. It is scheduled, sir. BGC 102. That's why I am asking that.
This is Indian English.
Sir, आमको जो schedule दिया जाइला सेथरे BGC 102 थिला sir. सेतपय बोली चार्ट रे डिस्कशन चलथला तो सर BGC 103 करूचंदी सेतपय हम समस्त कंफ्यूजन हो जाउ हां
BGC 103 हां
सेतपय हमर कंफ्यूजन होतरा जे BGC 103 टाइप रे हम हबना नाही
BGC टिके गोटे 1 मिनिट प्ले 1 मिनिट हम चेक कर दोछु
ओके सर
1 मिनिट BGC 102 हाँ हाँ ठीक है जी 102 शेड्यूल अनुसार आज 102 अच्छी
But I have been given, but I have been given
हाँ
the Indian English novel Unit 1 starting.
हाँ कौन सेटा कहले भाई
The Indian English novel
हाँ
objectives, introduction,
हाँ
first Indian English novel,
अच्छा अच्छा
novels, novels.
तादर लिखा है जी BGC 102 की 103 लिखा है नहीं
आधा केवल लिखा है the Indian English novels Unit 1, Unit 2
ओके
a tiger for
ओके
Bangladesh.
ओके 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 शुणु भाई शुणु पिला माने मो लर्नर्स समझते कि सार जहाँ पढ़ाऊँ आज नियो जदि चेंज हम आम शेड्यूल आम चेंज एपटे करदेबू सार जहाँ पढ़ाऊँ आज से कंटिन्यू करेंगे सार जहाँ पढ़ाऊँ कहले जे इंडियन कौन कहले भाई आउ तो रिपीट कले
এটা হচ্ছে introduction to the Indian English novel objectives, introduction, first Indian English novels, three significant novelist, post independent novelist, women novelist, and summary.
अच्छा पिला माने जानि पारला थर सुनलो तेणु सेई पोर्शन टा तुमर देखिबो हैला
তারপরে adjust କରିଦେବେ ସାର୍ ଆଉ
हाँ सर आमे एपटे एडजस्ट कर दबु हमर एपटे एडजस्ट कर दबु सर को अजित कौन कहया चाहछो कि
ଅଜିତ
जी
କୁହ
सर सर ये तो आज का जो क्लास है सर वो तो नेक्स्ट सीए में शेड्यूल होगा क्या
क्या क्या
आज का जो क्लास है आज का जो हम लोग का बीजीसी 102 क्लास था वो क्या नेक्स्ट सीए में शेड्यूल हो जाएगा कि कल का जो डेट मतलब बीजीसी 103 का जो डेट है उस दिन होगा कि और किसी दिन हो जाएगा
BGC 103 सो हम आपको उसी बारे में बताएंगे नो प्रॉब्लम
ओके सर
हाँ जो डेट है जो डेट में
हाँ।
जो दिया ये जो लिंक दिया गया है वो उसी लिंक में आप ज्वाइन करना है
ठीक है
वो
सर
आज 26 को जो लिंक दिया गया था आप
हाँ,
वही
हाँ।
लिंक में ज्वाइन करें ठीक है हाँ
थैंक यू
हाँ तो काउंसलर विल बी चेंज्ड accordingly counselor will be changed but the link will not change link date wise link will be confirmed we will adjust our counselors to change the your courses accordingly right
ओके सर
okay
थैंक यू सर
thank you so I do think my dear students since I have been really given the first chapter that is the Indian English novel so I have been accordingly prepared to reflect my thoughts and share my thoughts with you all but now as you say the schedule is otherwise so it is the duty of our sir Dr. Ranjit Das he will accordingly change and intimate you in the next class or the class after okay so today we are dealing with the Indian English novel. What is Indian English? What are the novels? Who are the novelists before independence of India? Who are the novelists after the independence of India? What are the subject matter of the novelists of pre-India and post-India independence? And now we are in a fine stage to say that we would go to women novelist and after women novel the moment we see women novelist it means the women are coming forward with their full strength to set up their to re-establish their equality with the male in India and the Indian subcontinent. Now let us sum up what we teach. आमे जहाँ पढ़िले ताको आमे टे सम अप कर दबा सारांश कहिबा मीनाक्षी मुखर्जी in her influential study of Indian English fiction the twice born fiction states there were three kinds of fiction from the 1920s till 1970s. They are the historical novel, the socio-political novel, the novel of identity. The first two broadly occur before independence and the third occurs after. As she herself points out, this is not meant to be a rigid framework, and the phases may overlap, and individual exceptions may always be there. She also identifies the major themes as the making of a nation, East-West encounter, and renunciation as an ideal. The major problematics she identifies is that of language and the expression of Indianness. Why we say language is a problem, according to Meenakshi Mukherjee? Because English is not our mother tongue. We all are not well conversant or well habituated, acclimatized with learning of English from class or standard 1, excepting just a few in English medium, convent school or Bentham schools or central schools or those schools. So the major students are hailing from Odia mediums. So when they begin to write some novels or poems or anything, it becomes a problem with them because their Indian thoughts make a conflict with the English writing style. So mother tongue, our MIL, enters and makes a fight with the foreign language. That is why English becomes a problem for the non-English area or countries or writers or students. The question of a language is seen differently by the different writers. As far as they are concerned, the language they write in is theirs. English is their first language. But in case of India, English is not the first language. English cannot represent the completely daily life of any individual in India, because India is a land of not less than 200 or 250 languages, more or less, dead or alive. So, if English could have been the single language all over India, the fact would have been otherwise. Even we read English in schools and colleges, when we go home, we listen and speak either in Hindi or in Odia or in Tamil or in Telugu. It means we are exposed to dual problems. This, that. That is the impact of, that is the negative impact on our writers while writing novels, story, etc. Our writers are great. They have the equal talent with the Western counterpart. But when they write in English, they are purely turning out to Indian, because the words, thoughts, feelings enter the English language in the writings. Even the Indian English novels, wherever the Indians are living in India for British or from British coming to India, wherever they write, they come across the same sort of problems, because in the mother tongue there is emotionalism, but in the commercial term, it is not emotional. We write English because our documents are written in English, our administration is going on English, so we are bound to read English. If our Constitution of India, or for that matter each and every administrative writings could become English or could become Hindi, so we would take interest in the single language, but we are interested in our mother tongue, but we are compelled to read and write in English because of the administration and service, job, foreign going, etc. So we are intellectual, but we are not emotional. But in our mother tongue, we are emotional. Okay. So now we go to the next unity. I mean to next unity, that is 2. What is that? Is a tiger for Malgudi. I would give you just a little example because the time is short. Really, Malgudi is not a place anywhere it is located. Critics say Malgudi belongs to South Indian city like Madras. But by and large, the research says that Malgudi is an imaginary place located in the mind of R.K. Narayana. And R.K. Narayana accordingly writes all the novels with the reference of Malgudi, 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 like that. So Malgudi is not a cosmopolitan town, it is a regional town. It is a local town. Where Raju, in the novel, the guide, you think of the guide. What happens? He was a thief. Out of a hunger, he snatches away bunch of a banana. Somebody said, a chore, chore, chore. He's a thief, thief. So he ran away for his own life. Entered a temple, sat there, and he was mistaken by Bhelan as God. So people came, offered food, hoping that he was a God, and he was even prayed, believed to have caused rainwater from the sky. There was a drought. Finally, what happened? He went on fasting, not willingly, but by the compulsion of the people all around him, lakhs of people. Finally, he went into a river and said, look, at the top of the mountain, the rain is coming down. He said and fell down. In the end of the novel, we are not clear, the novelist has not cleared whether the novelist, whether the protagonist, Mr. Raju, died or got unconsciousness or collapsed. What it is said, look, here the water is up to my knee. Saying this, he fell down. So what happens? Raju was two Raju. The inner Raju, once upon a time, he was a thief. Sorry, the outer Raju was a thief. But the circumstances, the chains of events, the situations made him a hero. Really, he was a zero. But the moment when he was compelled to understand what his inner heart said, he was not allowed freedom to take even his own food. Finally, he became a saint and died or not questioned remains unanswered. It means R.K. Narayan makes a hero out of a zero personality. So his novel, Malgudi, Man Eater of Malgudi, or here, Raju, each and every one, they hail from the rural India, not town India major. They hail from rural India. And his novels are story based. Whose novels? The novels of R.K. Narayan are story based. So he says, R.K. Narayan full name, Rasipuram Krishna Swami Iyer Narayana Swami, which he shortened to R.K. Narayan Swami, and later on Graham Greene's suggestion to R.K. Narayan. He was born in the year 1906 in Madras. He grew up in his grandmother's house in Madras. Now it is called Chennai, where he received his education. And we are very much surprised to know R.K. Narayan was not out and out a scholar, a brilliant scholar. He could get a third class in his graduation, but he had creative knowledge, creative output. So he wrote novel. When India did not recognize him, he went to America. In 13 days, he did a film, that is the Raju the Gentleman. So here in India, it is a Raju Ban Gaya Gentleman. So my point of discussion is, those writers like R.K. Narayan, they do not like to write the characters from the kings and queens. They represent the rural society where the people's life or the life of the common people are full of problems. So the second bit is Mr. R.K. Narayan's Malgudi. I am not giving you detailed story, my dear, because the government has fixed us only 6 classes. And to complete it, in one class, in 60 minutes, 3 units. You imagine 3 units, which could have been covered in 1 month in your general class. But what to do? It is government's mandate. and we are bound to. Otherwise, one novel could be discussed for 5 days. But here, hundreds of novels would be discussed in 60 minutes, which is not possible. Just we will give you the idea, the inkling only to your head. So then he spoke of your next novelist, that is Raja Rao. Raja Rao, he wanted to bring about a social change in India, not like R.K. Narayana, who more and more attached importance on the artistic expression of the novel, I mean of the society. He wanted to bring a change through God believing, religiosity and philosophy. By virtue, by taking recourse to philosophy, he also expressed the same thing. The East-West encounter, R.K. Narayana, East-West encounter, Mulka Raja Anand, more less encounter with the West, but more encounter with the East regarding the casteism. So, in case of what is called Mulka Raja Anand, he is vehemently opposed to caste system. He is vehemently opposed to caste system. He wanted that India should be a country where all communities, all castes must live together with the brotherhood without any force. But what happened in reality? In our Mahabharata, there is, as you all know, no untouchability. In our Dasmaskanda and the Bhagavad Gita, there is no untouchability. But in case of our practical life, there is untouchability. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So this means man is himself responsible for making the caste system. Government or Bhagavan, Nirakara Param Brahma has not made caste system. So this is the social revolution done by Mulka Raja Anand against those who exploit the poor, the ordinary, the oppressed. जो मैंने पदवी दलित लांछित समाजर कहानी समाजर पद वार्ड दुख पाँच कांदुंट से हृदय दरद होगला तेणु सी लिखिले अस्पृश्य विरुद्ध स्वर उत्पन्न कले स्वर उत्पन्न कर राजा राव किंतु धर्म द्वारा दर्शन द्वारा तेणु जना पड़ा बिग ट्रायल कहीं कहगला ना ये कहगला प्रत्यक्ष भाव से न लिखि से माने कलात्मक भाव साहित्य सृष्टि द्वारा ये जिनिस लिखि बसिले उद्देश्य जे समाज बृहत्तर दृष्टि बृहत्तम दृष्टि उपकृत हम तेणु आमर विभिन्न स्टेज जो लेखा लेखक ये माने क्रांतिकारी मु कहीं कहूँ क्रांतिकारी क्रांतिर अर्थ विप्लव प्रत्येक समय विप्लव न कले समाज रे नुआ कथा जानी हुए ना सो रिवोल्यूशन इज टू हैव द न्यू रिविलेशन सो रिवोल्यूशन इज पॉसिबल बाय दोज हु आर पैट्रियोटिक यू थिंक ऑफ द कैप्टन ऑफ इंडिया बी हिंदू बी मुस्लिम बी क्रिश्चियन बी जैन when he fights for his country, that is India. So my point is we are all same and we are the children of mother country, that is India. And in our writings, all the writers, 3 writers, they started writing to bring about no changes but to bring about reformation, to inculcate in the heart of the poor people the spirit of an enigmatic force. Okay? Hello? One child is playing. Okay, you please suggest. Child is good, very good, but he or she is a gela. So my discussion is, what is the objective of these 3 big trios? The objective is to bring about a reformation, because most of the people are not learned. They are not educated. They are not elite. They are ignorant. They are innocent. So to fuse into them the spirit of revolution, those three writers, they write in different styles, different ways, but in English. So when they write in English, you must be having some doubt in your mind, sir, if he is writing in all three are writing in English, how can the common people, the rickshaw pullers, the peddlers, they will come to understand? Yes, the time, the period when they were writing it, the number of education or educated people were a few. So they wrote because those few, they would carry it and they would distribute the same message at their home and to the common people. By and by, when India will grow up, education will grow up, they are supposed to know that there is no caste. You see, in your greater India, greater dream, we are all same. Whatever community, sampradaya we may belong to, but we are the same. At the highest level, they are marrying each other freely. But in the poorest of the poor village, there is no intercaste marriage allowed. It means, up till now, the people are prejudiced, they are biased, they are superstitious, and they do not have any kind of nexus on positive ground. They say something I have told you in the beginning, mukh mein hari bagal mein chori. We always say very sugary words. We speak in sugary words. But our aim is not holistic. If someone gives me some rupiah, I say he is a god for me. The day when he is not giving, he is a bad man for me. So this is how man is becoming selfish, and to make those people conscious, the innocent people conscious, those three writers, they went on writing novels and short stories after short stories. So in this unity, I mean to say, we are introduced to keep in mind three things. What is English? What is Indian English? What is English? English is a language originally started from England, and it is a medium of expression because the 2/3 of the population of the world take to English in commerce, in science, in technology, in industry, in space science, in oceanography. So all the people are bound to go through English. So 2/3 of the total population of the world take to English language. But in so far as India is concerned, if progressively underdeveloping from underdeveloped to developing countries, Indians also, they learn English, they have science, they have technology, they have the industry, they have metallurgy, they are agriculturalists. So one day by day they are supposed to go up and up and up. So you must be again having some doubts, sir. Russia is a country where there is no English compulsory. How Russia is supersonically so advanced? Yes. In our mother tongue we can make research, no problem. But there must be an interpreter. Putin will say in Russian language, and there must be an interpreter who knows English and also Russian language. But if we will know English from beginning, we will need no interpreter. So here the writer or English, the English written and spoken by the Indians are called Indian English. What is the difference between Indian English and other English? Only in the style of pronunciation, measure. Suppose they say, I don't want to tell you the story this time. It is a high time to tell you the story. I mean, in India we say, it is a high time to tell you a story. So they are phonetically original, but we are not original. We are Indian out and out in our spoken language. in our written language. So it is called English. English. Then novel Rajmohan, first Rajmohan's wife, first novel. Then we shift Chattopadhyay to the pre-independent writers. These three things. These three. R.K. Nair, Rajarao, Mulkaraj, Anand. Then we shift to post-independence. Post-independence, Saigal and our Kamala Markandeya, Deshpande, Arundhati Roy, etc. That is post-independence. So, by this, we are now very much closer to our completion of three novelists. But one thing remains unsatisfied, that if we could have really gone through writer by writer his works, taking a much more time. So in 3 days we can cover one novelist and his writings, mode of writings, thinking of writings, expectation or purpose of writing, nature of writing, the trending of the novelist. But here we are just brushing aside. We are getting 100 times speedier than the normal teaching, normal flow. So I would think, I would be very much glad that you have patient enough to continue and to listen to me. And as you know, I am a linguist. Really, my expert area is language, and I am also an author of 3 books. All India. I myself am a writer in English recently. So my dear students, I would like to teach you again in my next class, being prepared. But this class, as has been told, given to me the materials before to start it from the beginning. So I started it from beginning. But as per your assignment given to you, things are different. So the counselor would be replaced from tomorrow. So no problem. We would go on accordingly. If you have got any problems in understanding what regarding in understanding the deliverance of my speech, the way of talk, the way of the style of presentation of thoughts, and the interaction or rapport between yourself, you all readers, and myself, you are at liberty to ask me any question left and right, no problem. Because you know, I am already a retired professor. So you can ask any questions to me if you have got any doubt. Simply asking question does not mean student is good, bad. Any doubt should be cleared. If a teacher is also on doubt, he would say, my dear, really I am not remembering the things now. In your next class I would class. So what is that? A true man, a true scholar is one who doesn't have any ego. To be a good man, we must cast off our ahankar. If we throw away our ahankar, we must be a good citizen, good teacher, good student, etc. So if you have got any problems, any doubts, you are at your liberty to ask me any question. Suppose there is another novel, Possession. The hero is Valmiki. Valmiki is out and out an illiterate boy. He is tending the sheep or mendha by the foot of the mountain. One foreigner came, a lady, very highly rich. She makes inquiry who the boy is. When she comes to know that the boy is out and out poor and have no knowledge, but writes a wonderful painting on the stone, she purchases her. Purchases him, takes him with her to England, allows him study. When he becomes a young man, from childhood to young man, he looks very handsome. And the foreign heroine, she thinks now Valmiki is her possession. He should do whatever is told to him by her. But Valmiki is out and out Valmiki. See, he said, no, please get me back to my mountain, get me back to my hill area, my country, native country, India, and my sheep or ram, mendha. I am getting satisfaction there independently. I can't live under you, your order, and your hegemony, your supremacy. So possession becomes possessionless at last. Thanking you all. Perhaps now time is over. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Next class we will do the justice.
Okay, sir. We are very much thankful for your kind cooperation, and I request all the learners that they should join the class in proper time.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
will complete the course.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Sir, sir, can I say something?
Yes,
Yes.
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 ସାର୍ ମୁଁ କହିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲି କି ସାର୍ ଯଦି ଆମର ଗୋଟେ ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ସଆପ ର ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ଗ୍ରୁପ ହେଇପାରିବ ତାହେଲେ ଆମେ ଟିକେ ଅଧିକ ଉପକୃତ ହେଇପାରନ୍ତୁ।
It is not possible. WhatsApp ରେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ପିଲା ତୁମର ଅଛନ୍ତି 300 400 ପିଲା, ତେଣୁ ପିଲା ଜଏନ କରୁଛନ୍ତି 40 50 ପିଲା, ତେଣୁ ୟୁ
ନାଇଁ
କ୍ୟାନ୍
ସାର୍
ସଜେଷ୍ଟ
ନାଇଁ ସାର୍ ଯଦି
ୟୁର
ଗୋଟେ
ରିଜନାଲ ସେଣ୍ଟର।
ମୁଁ
ଅଭିଷେକ,
ଯଦି ଚାହୁଁଥିଲି ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ଆମର ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ଅଫିସିଆଲ ଗ୍ରୁପ କରାଇକି ମାନେ ତାଙ୍କର ଯଦି ଲିଙ୍କ ଟା ପ୍ରୋଭାଇଡ କରିଯାଆନ୍ତା ତାହେଲେ ତ ପିଲା ଜଏନ ହେଇପାରନ୍ତେ।
ନାଇଁ ସେଇଟା କେବଳ ରିଜନାଲ ସେଣ୍ଟର କରିପାରିବ। Please mute all the students.
ଆଜ୍ଞା
Those who are interested, they can open their mic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other? Any other query? Sudham Babu, mute your phone. Any other query? अभिषेक तुम्हार जो प्रश्न तुम प्रश्न पाई तुम्हें रीजनल सेंटर को कह so that they will make a group.
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ସାର୍।
Thank you very much to all the learners as well as our esteemed resource persons, and we have completed the block 1, and uh, tomorrow we will we will discuss another unit, another block, another unit. So you just wait for tomorrow. Thank you very much. We are wind up the class. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
ଆରେ କିଛି ଆସାଇନମେଣ୍ଟ ଦିଆହେଇଛି?
ନାଇଁ ସେଇ ଆସାଇନମେଣ୍ଟ ପାଇଁ ତ ହିଁ ମୁଁ କହୁଥିଲି କି ଗ୍ରୁପ ଆମର ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ କ୍ରିଏଟ ହେଇପାରିଥାନ୍ତା ତାହେଲେ ଆମେ ଆସାଇନମେଣ୍ଟ ଗୁଡା ସହଜରେ पाइପାରିଥାନ୍ତୁ। ମୁଁ
सारा
ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ସେଇ
असाइनमेंट
କଥାରେ
मिल
ସାର୍
चुका है, सितंबर में जमा करना है हम लोग को।
सबका
असाइनमेंट
मिल
मिल
चुका
चुका है?
है ये तो
हाँ, असाइनमेंट हर रीजनल सेंटर में भेज दिया गया है, असाइनमेंट मिल भी गया है और सितंबर में सबमिट करना है।
ମତେ ତ ସାର୍ ମନା କଲେ।
ନାଇଁ ଆମ ସେଣ୍ଟର ବି ତ ମିଳିନି।
असाइनमेंट आ चुका है।
ତମ ସେଣ୍ଟର କୋଉଠି ଅଭିଷେକ?
ଆମର ଏନସି କଲେଜ ଯାଜପୁର।
ଓ ମୋର ତ ଜେକେ ବିକେ କଟକ।
ନାଇଁ ଆମର ଏଯାଏଁ ବି ଆସିନି, ତାପରେ ବି ଯୋଉ ଇଗ୍ନୋର ଯୋଉ ୱେବସାଇଟ୍ ଅଛି ତା ଦେହରେ ବି ଲଗ୍ଇନ୍ କଲାବେଳକୁ ତା ଦେହରେ ବି ଆସାଇନମେଣ୍ଟ ଦେଖଉନି। ଯାହା ବି ଆସାଇନମେଣ୍ଟ ଦେଖଉଛି 2018 20 ରେ ଦେଖଉଛି ଆସାଇନମେଣ୍ଟ ଗୁଡା।
ହଁ
ଆଉ ତା ଦେହରେ ବି ଅପଡେଟ କରାଯାଏନି ତ ଆମେ କେମିତି ଆସାଇନମେଣ୍ଟ ଗୁଡା ପାଇବୁ?
ଆସାଇନମେଣ୍ଟ ୱେବସାଇଟ ରେ ହିଁ ଅଛି। ଏଇ ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ଜୋନ୍ ଯାଇକି ଆସାଇନମେଣ୍ଟ ଗଲେ ସେଇଠି CBCS ଓଲ୍ଡ ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି, CBCS ନ୍ୟୁ ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି, ସେଇଠି ମିଳିଯିବ ସବୁ ଆସାଇନମେଣ୍ଟ। ସେଗୁଡାକ ହଉଛି 2020 ସେସନ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଫର 2021 ସେସନ।
2021 ରେ ଆଇଲାଣି? ନାଇଁ ମୁଁ ଅପଡେଟ ନଥିଲି
ସେଇଠି
ତାହେଲେ।
ଅଛି, ସେଠି ସର୍ଚ୍ଚ कले मिल जाओ।
असाइनमेंट तो आ चुका है।
हाँ कोई बात नहीं, कोई
अच्छा
बात
ठीक है, हम चेक कर लेते हैं।
हाँ ठीक है।
अगर नहीं मिलेगा तो फिर ये करना ना मिल
मिलेगा
जाएगा।
मिलेगा क्योंकि असाइनमेंट कोई भी स्टडी सेंटर प्रोवाइड नहीं करते हैं। असाइनमेंट तो ऑनलाइन ही मिलेगा आपको।
हाँ पर वो
नहीं मेरे
2021
पास है, अगर
सेशन का है।
ସେଇଠି ଦେଇଛି କି
मेरे
ସେଇଟା
पास
ମାନେ
है
ଫର୍ 2021 ସେସନ୍ ମାନେ ଟିଲ୍ ଜୁନ୍ 2021 ଜୁନ୍ ଅର୍ ଜୁଲାଇ।
ବଟ୍ ଆମେ ତ 21-22 ସେସନ୍ ନା।
ହଁ 21-22 ସେସନ୍ କିନ୍ତୁ ଆସାଇନମେଣ୍ଟ ଟା ସାର୍
ସେମ୍।
କହୁଥିଲେ କି ବର୍ଷକୁ ଥରେ ନା ଆଇଦର ଥରେ ନହେଲେ 2 ଥର ଅପଡେଟ୍ ହୁଏ ତ ଏଇନା ଯୋଉଟା ଲାଟେଷ୍ଟ ଆସାଇନମେଣ୍ଟ ଅଛି ସେଇଟା ୱେବସାଇଟରେ ଦିଆହେଇଛି ତାପରେ ଯଦି କିଛି ଲାଟେଷ୍ଟ ଆସେ ତ ସେଇଟା ଅପଡେଟ୍ ହେଇଯିବ।
ଆଚ୍ଛା ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ।
ୱେଲକମ୍।